Always for joining us. This sort of struck me. You have the images of the horses, and then you got the images of 14,000 people living in squalor under a bridge and just flowing across the Rio Grande. Back in the day when you were working for President Trump, would you have had to pay, or would your people have had to pay, quote unquote, for the guys on horses trying to keep people out of America, or for having 14,000 people living under a bridge?
Well, I think you know the answer to that. Obviously, we would be concerned about the folks under the bridge, and we would be solving that crisis instead of talking and vilifying the men and women of the Border Patrol and those law enforcement officers. Look, this is just another attempt by the left to go after law enforcement. They don't want to talk about the crisis. They don't want to talk about how to solve the crisis. Instead, they want to talk about pictures and photos and everything wrong with Border Patrol and law enforcement. And it's wrong. I'm pissed off about it. I think the president, the vice president, Secretary Mayorkas, they all owe each of those Border Patrol agents and officers an apology. The investigation is ongoing, but for them to make some of the comments that they made today is outrageous, and it's unjustified.
Your successor, by the way, Secretary Mayorkas, was asked about the president's comments in light of the investigation, also in light of the fact that there's no evidence that the reins of the horses were ever used as whips. Take a listen. No, we don't have that soundbite, but he basically said, before the facts are in, is it still helpful for investigations to use inflammatory language? And the secretary said, we know how to conduct an investigation with integrity. How do you conduct an investigation when the president says people are going to pay?
Well, look, this is just another example of both the secretary and the administration not being honest with the American people. Of course, you cannot have an investigation when you have the president talking about they will pay, you have the vice president talking about slavery, and then you have the DHS secretary talking about how he was horrified about of the images. What specifically was he horrified about? About the officers doing their job, what they were trained to do? So obviously they're trying to influence that investigation, which is being carried out by DHS. So I think we all know where this is going. And this is just, again, another attempt. They don't want to talk about the crisis. They're trying to, turn the attention away from their failures on getting this crisis under control after 8 months. You still have the secretary up there saying the border is closed, and yet you still have 200,000 illegal apprehensions a month. You have 14,000 Haitians under one bridge in Del Rio. The facts don't lie, and the facts speak for themselves. And it's extremely frustrating. He's lost the confidence of the men and women of the Border Patrol, of the law enforcement entity within the department, and that spells trouble at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm hoping that you can play this out for us, because we know that there are these 20 or 30,000 people right now caravanning up from South America through Mexico, watching what's being said at the White House podium. And I'm wondering what message they're getting, and then also what message the Border Patrol is getting about trying to do their job.
Yeah. Well, of course, look, the smugglers and the cartels and the traffickers, they market some of what our messaging is to those migrants. And so when you have the secretary and you have these comments being said today that talks about an asylum system, he talks about rebuilding an asylum system, which is just, it's fantasy, rebuilding a refugee system. We have those systems in place. But what he's doing is he's sending a signal to say, every one of you can come in and seek asylum, when they know the vast majority of them will never qualify for asylum. They've been living in Brazil. They've been living in other countries. If you have sought shelter and safety in a safe third country, you're ineligible for asylum here in the United States. DHS knows this. The administration knows this. They're not being honest with these folks.
All right. Well, appreciate you being with us, as always. As you know, we're heading to the border. Be there from McAllen. We're going to talk to you then and get your thoughts on the continuing crisis down there. Also, how the coyotes and the cartels are taking advantage of everything that's happening in Del Rio to bring over more drugs and people through McAllen and the Rio Grande. Good to see you, sir, as always. Enjoy the weekend.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. That's the domestic